Hello and welcome back to another review roundup on the channel. Today we are looking at Silent Hill F. Reviews have just dropped this lovely Monday morning, September 22nd, 2025. So I thought I'd take a look at some of the reviews that have come out and see what the takeaways are for this new iteration of Silent Hill. Me personally, I've only recently started playing the new Silent Hill 2 remake from Bloober Team. Came out last year around November, I think, 2024. I'm enjoying it so far, and I wanted to hop in because Silent Hill F is coming out and it looked really cool. Japanese setting, survival horror, playing as this teenage Japanese girl in this small town setting. Seems like it focuses on melee combat. Really enjoying that in Silent Hill 2. So, yeah, I wanted to look at some of the reviews coming out, see what people are saying. So let's just hop right into it, as they say. So the Open Critic right now is standing at an 85. It gets the mighty badge from Open Critic. I think they actually have the percent breakdowns of what those means. So it's the top 10% of game ratings, best in their genre, universal critical acclaim. Silent Hill F joins this grouping. Seems like there's a lot of great games coming out this year. Recently I just did a video on Trails in the Sky first chapter. That one's sitting at a 91. Went up from the 89, so who knows, maybe this will go up too. There's a lot of reviews already. Right now Open Critic is using 46 reviews to generate this score. 80% of critics recommend. I'm not really sure what that means. Sounds like, I don't know where they're getting that number from, but sounds good to me. So yeah, this is coming from Konami, published by Konami, developed by Neobards Entertainment. Not really familiar with Neobards. I'm pretty sure they are maybe a port studio and a remaster studio, but I'm not fully sure on that. Don't quote me on that. The game's coming out on PC, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5. Comes out on September 24th, 2025. So I think this review embargo kind of aligns with the early access release. You get 48 hours early access if you pay some amount of more money. I'm not sure, probably $10, probably $20, somewhere in there. So yeah, let's look into some of the reviews. We're going to start with Noisy Pixel. Like this site, seem to do good work over there. They gave it a 9 out of 10. This is coming from a reviewer who is not familiar with the Silent Hill franchise, not a super big fan of survival horror. So they are very similar to myself. I don't play a lot of survival horror games. I've played a few Resident Evils, Resident Evil 4, very good. Just not getting into Silent Hill 2, really liking it. But yeah, enough about me. So the 9 out of 10 from Noisy Pixel, they say, it may not seem too much from a newcomer, not well acquainted with survival horror, but Silent Hill F is what I have honestly sought for the genre. Amidst expected implementations of sudden scares, the real memorable jeopardy lurks in the fears you believe are seemingly beyond sight, not leaving me terrified in short bursts, but instead contemplative of what I just witnessed. At its frayed heart, Silent Hill F utilizes its compact cast to embrace that psychological dread brilliantly, encompassing varied, bold topics that are not repressed or refrained, strengthened by a healthy dose of replayability via multiple endings, as well as anxious gameplay systems. This entry should satisfy fan cravings for a new quality game in this franchise that was once long neglected. So yeah, it seems like it's doing more of that Silent Hill thing, which is psychological horror. Seems like maybe less jump scares, more traumatizing experiences. That's always fun. Multiple endings is interesting. I'm not really a fan of multiple endings. I kind of just like the one ending, the one story being told. I'm probably not going to play it multiple times unless I love it, but I guess if you do end up loving it, it's cool that multiple endings are there. So we have the good and the bad, different sections of the review broken apart, kind of highlighting different points that kind of lead to the 9 out of 10. So for the good, they have atmospheric setting. Ebisu ga Oka's labyrinth streets, interiors, and fog-drenched ambiance create constant psychological tension. Compelling protagonist. Hinako's layered personality, Journal entries and personal struggles make her a more memorable Silent Hill lead. Tense survival mechanics, stamina-based movement, breakable weapons, and sanity management keep every encounter stressful and meaningful. Audio and visual design, sublime art direction, and grotesque creature aesthetics pair with a masterful soundtrack and strong voice acting. Replayability, multiple endings and optional content encourage multiple runs. Some of the bad. Shrine drawing. The faith/omamori drawing mechanic disrupts the immersive tone. Occasional pacing issues. Some areas and puzzle gimmicks overstay their welcome, slightly dragging progression. Okay. Puzzle gimmicks overstay their welcome. That's not very good. Okay, that's concerning. Yeah, the art direction looks really good, so I'm glad to hear that kind of stands throughout the game. And a good soundtrack, can't go wrong with that. Stamina-based movement, breakable weapons. Breakable weapons is not that encouraging to me. Let's see. The good. Layered personality, journal entries, and personal struggles make her a memorable Silent Hill lead. That's very encouraging. I like that. Cool. Great protagonist is always a plus. Yeah, the bad. The faith/omamori drawing mechanic disrupts the immersive tone. So there's some sort of mechanic happening here that they're not loving. I have no context for what the hell that means. Drawing mechanic. I hope my drawing skills are horrible, so I hope it's not literally drawing. But yeah, overall, seems like way more positive than negative. I mean, the score is a 9 out of 10, so. But breakable weapons, I'm not a fan of that. It seems like another great Silent Hill game. I'm only like 5 hours into the Silent Hill 2 remake, so definitely can't call myself a fan, but I'm really loving what I'm playing so far, so I'm really looking forward to having even more of that. Seems like Silent Hill is doing well these days. The review mentions that the franchise was long neglected. Yeah, since Silent Hill 2 Remake. Actually, there was Silent Hill The Short Message, I think, even before that, but Silent Hill 2 Remake seems like a start for the franchise to come back, and honestly for Konami coming back making bigger games. I mean, a lot of this stuff has been remakes. Silent Hill 2 Remake, Metal Gear Solid Delta now just came out, and now Silent Hill F. Oh my god, they're releasing a lot of stuff. But yeah, this is like something new. So for it to have such a strong reception, 85 overall, and 9 out of 10 here from Noisy Pixel, that's really exciting. And it signals that, Konami can make new stuff, even if it's not internally developed. They're partnering with the right people to make great stuff. That's great. Hopefully we'll get a Castlevania, Suikoden, and more to come. I think those kind of appeal to me more, at least, I've played some Castlevania, Suikoden being a JRPG franchise. I still want to check out those remasters that just came out. So let's just hop into the next Silent Hill F review from GameSpot, and let me stop yapping. So from GameSpot, they gave it a 9 out of 10 as well, and they say, the most compelling reason to replay Silent Hill F is to simply experience every bit of its brilliant, horrifying, and oftentimes deeply cathartic story. Though I won't dive too deep into the ideas and themes of the game in order to preserve the experience for others, suffice to say I was blown away by the mastery in which Silent Hill F explores gender roles, agency, isolation, identity, relationships, and womanhood, as well as by the way it perfectly balances clarity and ambiguity to create something profound and reflective. Among AAA titles, there are few games that dare to broach the same topics developer Neobards Entertainment does in this title, and far fewer that handle them with even close to the same amount of grace, nuance, and conviction. Wow. Okay. That's a lot. So it seems like it's investigating some interesting ideas. Gender roles, agency, isolation, identity, relationships, womanhood. That's definitely unique. I don't think I've played a game that does that. Yeah, seems cool. Seems like this writer was really keen on the themes in the game, which I think is good. It's always really cool when a game connects with you on a deeper level. I think I'm kind of an idiot who's just like, is the gameplay good? Is the music good? Is the story, good? The themes, maybe I don't pick up on it right away, but it's cool to see that, the game is trying to say something. Seems like a lot of games are just, just there to entertain you, but this one seems like it wants to challenge you and kind of say something a little bit deeper. So that's cool. The writing being great is a big plus, I think, and hopefully that translates to something I enjoy as well. They list the good and the bad as well. My favorite parts of reviews. You can just scroll down, see the number, see the good, see the bad. It's toxic. So the good. Phenomenal writing tactfully explores ideas and themes often ignored in gaming, while also striking a perfect balance between ambiguity and clarity. Environments, imagery, character art, and creature design are gorgeous, grotesque, and spectacular. Combat and overall gameplay is remarkably fun, well designed, and keeps larger areas from feeling stale or grating. New Game Plus adds incredible amount of content, context, and replayability. Alright, yeah. So the combat is good, they say. Well designed. Environments, imagery, character art, that's all great. I can kind of see that just from the trailers. And then, yeah, phenomenal writing. That's a rare thing in video games. I feel like a lot of the time, video game stories are just, you kind of just accept them for what they are, and then you just enjoy the gameplay that's there, well designed, music. So, if it's got great writing, it's just another plus. The bad. Certain portions of the game run a bit too long and can grow repetitive. Tight spaces and quickly depleting stamina bar and imperfect controls can lead to some frustrating encounters. Okay. It seems like it wasn't enough to hold back the game from its 9 out of 10 score. So these things, while bad, not too bad in comparison to all the good that's there. Final review comes from IGN. Silent Hill F serves up a fresh new Japanese setting to explore, a fascinating dark story to unravel, and plenty of twisted freaks to torment you with. All of that made me wish I was a bit more enamored with the combat system that early on seems like too much of a chore to be fun, yet eventually made me feel too overpowered at times to be consistently scared. I admire developer Neobards Entertainment for taking a big swing here, but like a labored lurch from Hanako's frustrating, fragile lead pipe. Okay. It just hasn't quite landed exactly where I'd like it to. Still, some spectacular art design, imaginative puzzles, and compelling lead character means this latest mainline entry in Konami's seminal survival horror series definitely earns a grade higher than a Silent Hill F. It's probably closer to a Silent Hill B-. Okay, got a little cute there. So this is coming from IGN. It's a 7 out of 10, which is the most negative review here. Even though 7 out of 10 is still a good score. Gave it a B-, you say. So yeah, the Japanese setting, I think that immediately gets people more interested. Weebs and whatnot. That's me. I'm calling myself out. Combat being a chore is scary to hear. But then overpowered later on in the game. Interesting. Kind of the first we're hearing about this. I actually like feeling overpowered in games, so not really concerning for me at that point, but early on being a chore, that's a little bit concerning. But he's the only one who mentioned it so far, so maybe it's just, a taste thing, which I guess that's everything. Yeah, it seems like he didn't really connect with the melee combat like the other people did, but he still praises the art design, the puzzles, and the lead character. I think a lot of praise for the lead character, which is really exciting. I think a strong main character can do a lot for how I feel about a game, so you kind of want to stick with them and see their journey to the end instead of dropping it midway through, because you actually are invested in not just the gameplay but the character and the story, the environment, what's going on. I think that really lends to feeling stronger about a game when everything's said and done. Okay, I've taken up enough of your time. Those are just some reviews. There's more out there. Seems like the majority of them are glowing. There's a few outliers who are a little bit softer on the game. I haven't seen anything too negative. So it seems like generally just another banger game from Konami, another banger game from the Silent Hill franchise, of which there are, I guess, two of recent note. Metal Gear also doing its work. Suikoden had a pretty nice reception. It's cool to see Konami back in action and relevant. They haven't been relevant pretty much since I started, gaming more seriously. Obviously back in the day, for all the old heads out there, they have much more of a connection to Konami. Really, I feel like, I'm trying to think, maybe Metal Gear Solid 5 might have been the only Konami game I played up until recently. So it's cool to see them back, see them doing their thing, bringing back their old franchises. Hopefully they'll get some new ones going as well. So yeah, Silent Hill F. What do you guys think of the reviews? Do they embolden you to go out and get the game? Did you get the early access? Are you going to pre-order? Are you excited? Do you not care? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to leave you alone now. Goodbye.